Hey guys, it's Lex
and Kels,
and this is From Wed to Med, and today we're going to just talk about maximizing your gap year or your summer in between undergrad and medical school or graduate school and medical school, so wherever you're at. So the important thing about a gap year is it gives you time to kind of fill in any blanks that you may have in your application. So if you're in undergrad and you are getting ready to graduate and you kind of just need a break after 4 years of consistent learning and you know you still want to go to professional school, so medical school, dental school, whatever, and you've kind of already looked at what those schools are requiring and you see a little bit of gaps between what you have and what they want, that might be a great summer or year to fill in those gaps. So you might do a summer internship or maybe research with your school or a nearby hospital or medical school, whatever that you might be interested in. And I know for myself, I did research at the University of Illinois Chicago, and I worked in the public health department because I was really interested in that. And at that time, I thought that's what I wanted to do. Following graduation was public health work. So I worked with women and adolescents dealing with HIV and different things like that. So it was a really exciting summer because I got to learn a lot hands-on, and it also exposed me to research in a way that I hadn't been exposed to before. So maybe whatever your interest is, it might line up with filling in some of those gaps for you that summer.
Yeah. For me, I did research in the spring semester of my junior year, I believe. And it was something that I wanted to see if I would be interested in it. And after I did it, I was not interested in it. So I just spent my summers continuing with the volunteer work that I did at local hospitals, so I could show like a continuation of or a longevity of volunteerism. So that's what I spent my summer doing.
That's always a great thing to find something productive to do, especially if you want to get in the sciences. I know a big thing is, like Kels was saying, is longevity. They want to see if this is really something that you are really interested in. Are you sticking with it, or are your summers kind of bouncing around? You know, I mean, it's great to be involved in multiple things, but it's also good to kind of see a little bit of consistency, because medical school or dental school, it is a long process. So they want to make sure you're really in it because that's what you want to do. So just some helpful websites that might help you picking a summer research program. I know if you go to the AAMC website, they have a whole list of different internship programs based on state, as well as if you're in graduate school or undergrad, so you can kind of narrow that down. Also, there is a website called pathwaystoscience.org, and they also show different research programs, and this one actually lists paid internships versus unpaid. So you might actually be able to get a stipend doing research in some of these different clinics if you're lucky enough. So you never know. That always helps. Get a little summer money and also add to your application.
Another thing, it might be cool or it might be smart to look up the local or the state medical school near you to see if they have any programs. I would probably go to their website and see if they have any summer internships or anything for pre-meds or any events going on, so that you can show interest in that school if that's what you're interested in, or so that you can go to somewhere nearby if you don't have the means to travel, or if a different program doesn't offer any stipends or anything. Try to stay within your state to see what you can do from there.
Yes, and sometimes you have to pick up the phone and call, or actually use your feet and walk in the building because they're really busy. So emails don't always work, or sometimes the website might have some of the internships from the previous summer and not some of the new labs that have opened up for the coming summer. So you might walk in and find out that there's a whole lot more than just what's on the website. So check into the local, like Kelsey said, your local universities and medical schools. Then transitioning to those who are going to do a full gap year and not just a summer, I would say thinking about how you want to make the most of that year. So if you're saying, you know what, I'm taking this year off and I know for sure next year I want to be in medical school, I want to be in dental school, perfect. You set that as a goal. But in that year, what are you going to do that's going to make you a more competitive applicant? So you may look for a job that's in the medical field. I know some people became medical assistants or EMTs. Some people became scribes. A lot of things to get like a clinical insight on what you're going to be dealing with medical school or dental school and things like that. So you probably don't want to spend your whole summer maybe just being like a dog walker. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but you might want to pair it with something else. So you can talk about it during your interview or in your application.
Yeah, and definitely I would use that time to travel,
Yes.
especially if you are interested in like global medicine. You could do a mission trip, or you could just spend some time during that year to travel for leisure, just to get a break from school. We've been going at this forever.
Since birth.
So it's definitely okay to take some time off. Just don't spend your whole year not doing anything.
Exactly. And then also maybe trying to use that time to do something else that you're interested in. So like I said, if you are into dog walking, or you have a different type of thing that you're interested in, or maybe you always wanted to write a book, or you always wanted to dance or do this or do that, you can try some of the other things that you enjoy as well, because a lot of things are changing with the medical applicant. There's not really a typical applicant anymore. We're all very unique and have a lot of different outside interests and strengths that make us more, I guess, well-rounded aspiring physicians. So be sure to tap into your other interests as well. Don't become just only science, because they may ask you, hey, what's your favorite TV show? And you're like, I don't watch TV, I just read books. That could be a little bit of like, whoa, might scare them a bit. So take time to find out your other interests.
To show that you are human.
Exactly. So if you also have graduated undergrad, or even if you've been in the work field for a long time or for a few years, myself, after I graduated in 2013, I worked for 4 years before I came back into like the school setting full time. I was taking classes part time, but full time I waited a while. So you might want to look into some post-bac programs to kind of just refresh on some of the courses that you may have taken in undergrad, or also to take courses that you did not take in undergrad. So also on the AAMC website, they do have different post-bacs, which are also listed by state, and if you're going to get a degree out of it or if it's a certificate. For me, a big deciding factor was a degree. I was not going to spend another year to 2 years and pay money to go to school and only have a certificate. So that kind of narrowed down my search to those that offered a master's degree. But if that's not your issue and you're open to just doing a certification program, there's tons of them out there, which can be really helpful too in that gap year.
Definitely. I narrowed mine down based off of MCAT and GPA. My undergrad GPA was not the highest, so I kind of tailored my search to something that would help me boost my GPA by giving me science courses, which our program does. And also a lot of the post-bac programs have MCAT requirements, whether they want to know that you have taken the MCAT or that you received a certain score. So that was important when looking for a program to see like what my score needed to be in order to apply. So that's one way that I narrowed down my list.
Yes, those are big things to check into, because again, all of this is costly, so you don't want to just throw out your apps everywhere. I mean, you can, but it's kind of smart to kind of look at it a little strategically. And you're also going to need letters of recommendation for that, because you are applying to a graduate program. So, and another thing that I had to come into was, once I finally became comfortable with the idea that I was going to have a gap year and go to school, was realizing that that's okay, because like I said, there are no typical applicants anymore. There's tons of non-traditional applicants. One of my mentors actually told me after undergrad, she went to a master's program because she just felt like she wasn't really strong enough yet for medical school. So don't feel bad if you do have to take a gap year or 2 or 3 or whatever, however many you need to take. And if you need to do some refresher courses or get some more hands-on experience, it's okay. That's your story and it's fine. Like, there's no cookie cutter approach to going to medical school.
Yeah, I think being a non-traditional student definitely sets you apart from the rest of the application pool, because you have more experience, whether that's in continuing with work or doing something medical related or non-medically related. It definitely sets you apart. So don't take being in a gap year as something that sucks or that that you don't want to do. It's definitely okay.
Exactly. Look at the brighter side of it. It's making you a stronger applicant at the end, So those are just a couple of things for you guys if you're looking into doing summer programs, summer internships, gap year research, or anything else between now and medical school. And all of those things, I think, like Kelsey said, it's going to make you stronger, and it's going to be really good for your interview. It's conversation starters when you can say you did this, that, and the third, you know, and how it all ties back to you wanting to become a physician. But as always, if you guys have any suggestions for us, let us know. I can say that I am going into a transitional year. I don't really want to call it a full gap year because I am applying in this cycle. And so as you guys know, for medical school, you apply in June and you have to wait till you apply in May now. And you have to wait for the next fall semester to figure out where you'll be. So I'm considering this my transition because I don't have any other choice. I have to wait. So for me, I'm looking into working again, but more clinical based this time. So I'm really looking into medical laboratory for now. But what about you for this year?
I do not
Transitional
know.
period.
It is a transition period, but I haven't decided on what specifically I want to do. I definitely want to keep up with my things that I volunteered in, especially when I go back home. But as far as working or research isn't something that I'm really interested in, so I probably won't do that. But one thing that I have learned is that you can do research in anything. It doesn't have to be biology or biochemistry. It can be psychology, it could be anything. So definitely keep that in mind if you are against research. Like I was pretty biased on not doing it because I wasn't interested.
I wasn't for the microscopes and the pipettes.
But yeah, I will definitely keep up with volunteering and, you know, just trying to see what opportunities come my way.
So please let us know if you guys have any tips for us for our transitional year, and we will keep you guys updated on how that goes for us. We do hope that you guys take advantage of your summer or your gap year, whatever time that you have, with a good combination of research or medical related as well as leisure time, because self-care is a must. If you don't take care of yourself, none of this is even gonna matter. You won't be healthy enough to do it. So take care of yourselves. If you guys have any suggestions, comments, or questions for us, please leave them in the comment section, as well as any tips or advice that you guys have for us. As always, we hope you guys are studying and you guys are healthy and happy and having some breaks. Until next time.
Bye.